Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path is lit with neon lights, promising instant riches, where fortunes are made in seconds. The other path is quieter, darker, harder to see, but it leads somewhere real. Most people choose the bright lights, and most people lose everything. This is the story of James, a man who chose wrong, lost everything, and then discovered the truth that changed his life forever. This isn't just his story. This could be your story. This could be your brother's story, your friend's story, or the story of someone you'll become if you don't listen. So sit back, open your heart, and let me tell you about the night James's world came crashing down and how he rebuilt it from the ashes. James is sitting in complete darkness. The only light comes from his phone screen, showing his bank balance, 0. Around him, unpaid bills are scattered like tombstones marking the death of his dreams. His hands won't stop shaking, not because he's cold, but because in a few hours, he has to look his wife in the eyes and tell her the truth. He has to tell his children why there's no food in the fridge. He has to explain how a good man became a desperate man. How did he get here? How does anyone get here? It starts with a single thought. What if I could change everything overnight? That thought is more dangerous than any drug, more addictive than any substance. That thought destroyed James, but it also saved him, because sometimes you have to lose everything to find what really matters. Act 1. The Fall. 6 months earlier, James was living a normal life. Not rich, not poor, just normal. He worked as an accountant, made decent money, had a loving wife named Emily, and 2 beautiful kids. But normal wasn't enough anymore. Everywhere he looked, people were getting rich. His college friend just bought a BMW. His neighbor renovated his entire house. Social media was full of people living their best lives. And James? James was stuck. Stuck in the same job, same salary, same life. The frustration was eating him alive. That's when his childhood friend, Marcus, called him. Bro, you won't believe what just happened. My cousin made $50,000 in one night. One night, James. He bet on a basketball game and boom, instant money. Marcus's voice was electric with excitement. You should try it, man. You're smart, you understand numbers. This is perfect for you. James's heart raced. 50,000 in one night? That's more than his monthly salary. He could pay off his credit card, fix the car, maybe take Emily on that vacation she'd been dreaming about. But isn't it gambling? James asked hesitantly. Marcus laughed. Gambling? Nah, man, this is different. This is strategic betting. This is using your brain, not luck. Trust me. That word, trust, that's the word that ruins lives. James trusted. He downloaded the app. He deposited $5,000. Just to try, he told himself. His first bet was on a football match. He researched, checked stats, read predictions. He felt smart, in control. And then he won. $3,000 profit. Just like that. His phone lit up with the notification, and James felt something he hadn't felt in years. Power. See, Marcus said when James called him, breathless with excitement. I told you, this isn't gambling. This is skill. But here's what James didn't know. That first win was the bait. The trap was already closing. Over the next 3 months, James bet more and more. Sometimes he won, but mostly he lost. But his brain played tricks on him. He remembered every win vividly. The rush, the excitement, the validation. But the losses? His mind blurred them together, made them feel less real. It's just bad luck, he'd tell himself. Next time will be different. He started lying to Emily. I have to work late, he'd say, while sitting in his car outside a betting shop, watching games on his phone, betting money they didn't have. The credit cards maxed out. He borrowed from friends, making up excuses about emergency medical bills. He even took a loan, promising himself he'd win it all back. But the hole just got deeper. Then came the worst night of his life. James had bet everything, and I mean everything, on a single game. His entire salary, borrowed money, even the money Emily had been saving for their daughter's school fees. He was sure, absolutely convinced, that this bet would solve all his problems. He watched the game with his heart in his throat. For 80 minutes, he was winning. His team was ahead. He could already see himself returning the borrowed money, paying the bills, being the hero again. And then, in the last 10 minutes, everything collapsed. The other team scored twice. James's bet was lost. Everything was gone. He sat frozen, staring at his phone screen, unable to breathe, unable to think. The only thought echoing in his head was, "What have I done? What have I done? What have I done?" He drove home in a daze. Emily was waiting for him at the dining table, and he knew from her face that she knew. The bank had called. The credit card company had called. The school had called about the unpaid fees. "James," she said quietly, her voice breaking, "where is all our money?" He couldn't speak. He just stood there, a broken man, with tears streaming down his face. "You promised me," Emily whispered. "You promised you'd take care of us. You promised you'd never lie to me." Their daughter came out of her room, rubbing her eyes. "Daddy, why is Mommy crying?" That question shattered whatever was left of James's heart. He had destroyed his family chasing a fantasy. He had gambled away their security, their trust, their future. And for what? For nothing. That night, after Emily took the kids and went to her mother's house, James sat alone in the darkness and realized something. Gambling hadn't just taken his money. It had taken his dignity, his integrity, his soul. He had become someone he didn't recognize. ACT2. The awakening James spent the next 2 days in that dark apartment, unable to eat, unable to sleep, unable to think. His phone kept ringing, bill collectors, loan recovery agents, friends asking for their money back. He ignored them all. What was the point? He had nothing left to give. On the third night, he found himself walking aimlessly through the city. His feet carried him to a small park where he used to take his kids on weekends. He sat on a bench and let the tears flow. He had hit rock bottom. There was nowhere lower to fall. "Crying won't help, son," a gentle voice said. James looked up to see an elderly man sitting beside him. The man had silver hair, kind eyes, and an air of calm wisdom. "Neither will judgment," James replied bitterly. "So if you're here to lecture me, please don't." The old man smiled softly. "No lectures. I'm Robert, and I'm sitting here because 23 years ago, I sat exactly where you're sitting, crying exactly the same tears, feeling exactly the same despair." James wiped his eyes. "What do you mean?" Robert leaned back. "I was a gambling addict. Lost my business, my house. My wife almost left me. My kids stopped talking to me. I was ready to end it all. But then someone told me something that changed my life forever." "What?" James asked, desperate for any hope. "They told me that there are 2 kinds of risk in this world. Stupid risk and smart risk. Gambling is stupid risk. Investing is smart risk. And if I wanted my life back, I needed to understand the difference." James frowned. "What's the difference?" "Both involve losing money, don't they?" Robert pulled out a small notebook from his pocket. "Let me explain. When you gamble, you're making a bet against the house, the casino, the betting company, the system. And here's the truth nobody tells you. The system is designed to make you lose. The odds are mathematically stacked against you. You might win once, twice, even 10 times. But in the long run, the house always wins. Always. That's not bad luck, James. That's mathematics." He drew a simple diagram. "But when you invest, you're not betting against anyone. You're participating in growth. You're buying a piece of a company, a piece of the economy, a piece of human progress. Yes, there's risk. Markets go up and down. But over time, and this is the key, over time, the trajectory is upward. Because humanity keeps innovating, keeps growing, keeps building." James was listening now, really listening. "But investing takes so much money, doesn't it? I'm broke. I have nothing." Robert shook his head. "That's the biggest lie the financial industry tells people. You don't need to be rich to invest. You need to be consistent. Let me show you something that will blow your mind." He started writing numbers. "Let's say you invest just $500 every month. Not a huge amount, right? Now, let's say you put it in a simple index fund that tracks the market. Historically, the stock market returns about 10% per year on average. Some years more, some years less, but on average, 10%. You know what happens in 20 years. James shook his head. "In 20 years, James, you'd have over $380,000 from just $500 a month. And if you increase it to $1,000 a month, over $760,000. James's jaw dropped. $760,000 from $1,000 a month. That's the magic of compound interest, son. Einstein called it the 8th wonder of the world. Your money doesn't just grow, it grows on the growth. It's exponential." James felt something stirring inside him. Hope. Maybe. "But Robert, I don't know anything about investing. I don't know how the stock market works. What if I lose everything again?" Robert squeezed his shoulder. That's exactly what I thought too. So I educated myself. I read books, watched videos, took a free online course. And I learned something beautiful. Investing isn't complicated. People make it complicated to sell you expensive advice. But the basics? Simple. Buy low-cost index funds. Invest regularly. Don't panic when market goes down. Be patient and let time do the work. But what about quick money? James asked. What about people who make millions overnight? Robert's expression became serious. James, let me tell you something. I know dozens of people who tried to get rich quick through gambling, day trading, cryptocurrency speculation, lottery tickets. You know how many succeeded? 0. You know how many destroyed their lives? All of them. But I also know hundreds of people who invested slowly, consistently, patiently. And you know what? Most of them built real wealth. Maybe not millions, maybe not overnight, but real, solid, life-changing wealth. The kind that lets you sleep peacefully at night. The kind that makes your family proud. The kind that grows even while you sleep. James broke down. All the shame, all the guilt, all the pain came pouring out. I've destroyed everything. My wife doesn't trust me. My kids saw me fail. I've borrowed money I can't pay back. How do I even start? Robert waited patiently. When James finally calmed down, he spoke. You start by making a decision. Right here, right now. Are you going to keep chasing luck, or are you going to start building a future? Because James, luck is for gamblers. Wisdom is for investors. Your family doesn't need a lucky man. They need a wise man. Which one are you going to be? Act 3. The transformation. That night changed everything. James went home and did the hardest thing he'd ever done. He told Emily everything. No more lies, no more excuses, no more hiding. He showed her the debt, the losses, the shame. And then he told her about Robert. He told her about investing, about compound interest, about building wealth the right way. I know I don't deserve another chance, James said, his voice breaking. But if you give me one, I promise I'll never gamble again. I promise I'll rebuild our life, brick by brick, the right way. Emily was silent for a long time. Finally, she spoke. One chance, James. One. If you break this promise, I'm taking the kids and leaving. I mean it. You won't regret it, James said. And for the first time in months, he meant it. The next morning, James started his education. He watched YouTube videos about personal finance. He read blogs about index funds. He downloaded apps to track his spending. He opened a small investment account with just $200, literally all he could save. It felt pathetic compared to the thousands he used to bet. But Robert's words echoed in his mind. Start small. Stay consistent. Let time work for you. Every month, James invested whatever he could. Sometimes $500, sometimes just $200 when money was tight. He cut expenses ruthlessly. No eating out, no unnecessary purchases, no keeping up with anyone. His old gambling friends called, texted, tried to lure him back. Come on, bro, just one game. I know you'll win. But James had learned his lesson. I'm done, he'd say simply. I'm investing now. They laughed at him. Investing? Bro, that's for old people. You'll never get rich that way. James just smiled. Maybe, but I'll never be broke this way either. 6 months passed. James showed Emily their investment portfolio on his phone. Look, we've invested $3,000 total, and it's now worth $3,200. Emily looked at the numbers. That's only $200 profit in 6 months. I know, James said, but it's real profit. It's not gambling money that I'll lose tomorrow. It's our money, growing slowly but surely. And the best part? I slept peacefully every single night these 6 months. Can you remember the last time I could say that? Emily's eyes filled with tears. I'm proud of you. Those 4 words meant more than any jackpot ever could. 1 year became 2. 2 became 3. James's life looked nothing like the fantasy he'd chased through gambling. He didn't have a mansion or a sports car. He was still working the same job, still living in the same modest apartment. But everything had changed. His investment portfolio crossed $20,000, then $30,000, then $40,000. The numbers grew steadily, predictably, beautifully. More importantly, his family was whole again. His kids respected him. Emily trusted him. He had friends who actually cared about him, not just gambling buddies who vanished when the money did. He slept peacefully. He woke up with purpose. He had become the man he always wanted to be, not rich, but wise. Not lucky, but disciplined. Not desperate, but content. One evening, 3 years after that night in the park, James went back to the same bench. And there, like something out of a movie, sat Robert. "Robert," James called out, almost running. The old man looked up, and his face broke into a huge smile. "James, my boy." They hugged like family. "I've been hoping I'd find you," James said, sitting beside him. "I wanted to thank you. You saved my life." Robert shook his head. "I didn't save anything, son. You saved yourself. I just showed you the door. You're the one who walked through it." James pulled out his phone. "Look, $48,000. From consistent investing over 3 years. It's not a million, but it's real. It's mine. And it's growing." Robert's eyes shone with pride. "Do you know what the best part is? You can't gamble that away. It's invested in the economy, in the future. It's safe." "Exactly," James said. "And Robert, I need to tell you something. Last week, Marcus called me. The same friend who got me into gambling. He begged me to lend him $10,000. He's in massive debt. His wife left him. He's losing his house." Robert nodded sadly. "And you?" "I told him I don't have $10,000 in cash. But I told him about investing. I told him about you. I told him there's another way." "Did he listen?" James sighed. "No. He said investing is too slow. He's sure his next bet will fix everything." "Some people never learn," Robert said. "But you did. And that makes all the difference." Closing message. James stood up and looked directly ahead, as if speaking to everyone who'd ever stood where he stood, everyone who'd ever felt what he felt. If you're watching this and you're thinking about gambling, whether it's sports betting, casinos, online games, or even day trading like it's gambling, I want you to hear me. Really hear me. Gambling feels like hope. It feels like opportunity. It feels like you're one shot at changing everything. But it's a lie. It's the cruelest lie because it's wrapped in possibility. The truth is this. Gambling is designed to take from you. That's not my opinion. That's mathematics. That's how the system works. Every casino, every betting company, every gambling platform exists because people lose money. You are not the exception. You are not special. You are not luckier than everyone else. The house always wins. Always. He paused, his voice heavy with emotion. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You don't need luck to build wealth. You need patience. You need consistency. You need wisdom. Investing isn't sexy. It doesn't give you that rush. You won't become a millionaire overnight. But you'll become something better, secure, stable, proud. Someone your family can depend on. Someone who sleeps peacefully. Someone who's building a real future instead of chasing a fantasy. The screen showed James with his family now, laughing, playing, living. His daughter was wearing her school uniform. His son was showing him a drawing. Emily was smiling, genuinely smiling. This was wealth, not money. Life. 3 years ago, I lost everything, James's voice continued. Today, I haven't won everything back. But I've won something more important, myself. My dignity, my family's trust, my peace of mind, and a growing investment portfolio that works for me while I sleep. Gambling promised me the world and gave me nothing. Investing promised me nothing and gave me everything that matters. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 3 months, take whatever money you would have gambled and invest it instead. Just 3 months. Open an investment account. Buy a simple index fund. Put in whatever you can, even if it's just $100 a month. And watch. Not for huge gains, but for something more important. Watch how it feels to build instead of destroy. Watch how it feels to sleep peacefully. Watch how it feels to be in control of your money instead of your money controlling you. The final shot showed James standing in that park, the sun setting behind him, his silhouette against the golden sky. His voice, firm and clear, delivered the final message. Gambling will keep you poor. Poor in money, poor in spirit, poor in peace. But investing can make you rich. Rich in security, rich in confidence, rich in future. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Choose today. Choose life. The screen faded to black and white text appeared. Gambling will keep you poor. Investing can make you rich. Your move.